If I had to start calisthenics again from complete zero, I wouldn't spend months messing around like I did. I'd follow 3 simple foundations to make sure I'm actually making progress and not staying stuck doing half reps and not seeing much progress. Then I'll also tell you guys what not to do, but we'll get that later into the video. Here's exactly what I'd do. Foundation 1 is focus on control and not strength. Most beginners, when they start calisthenics, skip the basics. I did the same thing. I suppose it's an ego thing, but I'm not the only person that does this. Skipping the basics is a huge problem, as the basics actually set you up for the rest of your calisthenics journey. Because without that base strength, you can't train the basic skills. Now, how does this link into control? Well, doing the basics teaches you how to engage your wrists, how to use your scapula, and how to hollow your body. All these aspects that you learn from doing the basics are needed for skills later down the line. You get your body used to having this certain control that you don't usually have if you don't train the basics. And to be honest, you need the control to actually do any skill later down the line without injuring yourself or having wrong form. Put it this way, if you build control now, everything becomes easier. Handstands, muscle ups, handstand push-ups, all these skills become easier if you build the control first. Foundation 2 is the 3 skills I'd learn to get rid of the no progress and the fluff and the uncertainty of knowing what to do. These are basically the most essential high impact skills you can learn to see the most progress as soon as possible. High leverage skills. One skill is the L-sit progression. The L-sit builds really good core strength, but also control as well, which you may not have to use this later down the line, but the control by itself will help you with other skills. And if you ever want to do maybe an L-sit to handstand, you can already do the L-sit, so it will make learning that skill much easier. And skill 2 is the handstand basics. It doesn't have to be a full-fledged hold, but if you understand how to use your fingers to balance yourself, the actual form of the handstand, all of this will help you, because learning these aspects of the handstand is your body learning how to move itself in a certain way, which these are all transferable strengths and controls that you can use in skills later down the line. I do highly suggest eventually do get a decent handstand hold, because if you do want to learn the handstand push-up and skills like this, not only is the strength transferable to every other skill in calisthenics, but obviously the handstand, you're gonna need it for the handstand push-up. And then skill 3 is clean pull-up form. Clean pull-up form is going to allow you to build pull strength, which will help you with every skill that you're going to try in calisthenics. And all of that starts with the pull-up. Have clean pull-up form, ensure you're doing it correctly, and you'll actually start to see that progress start to pile up. I'd argue a clean pull-up will fix 90% of beginner calisthenics mistakes / problems. The handstand basics will obviously help you with the wrists, your shoulders. So all this is all transferable, and then the L-sit will build you the control. So I hate it when I see calisthenics beginners train calisthenics and they start doing tuck planches, elbow levers, back levers. These are skills that, yes, they may help a little bit, but these 3 that I've just stated, you will see the most progress with. You'll have less chance of a burnout because you're seeing progress almost every single day. You will notice the difference with these 3 skills, and these 3 skills will actually transfer into future skills down the line more effectively than an elbow lever, a tuck planche, and a back lever. And then foundation 3 is have a structure. Training with no structure will not help you. You will most likely burn out more because you don't really have something to follow. You're kind of just showing up, hoping for the best, doing reps. It's not effective. Now let me give you an example of a weekly plan you can do. Day 1 will be your push day and maybe handstand basics. Day 2 will be your pull day and maybe scapular training as well. Day 3 is core and L-sit. Day 4 will be your full body, or you can have that as a rest day. And day 5 will be your skills day. Focus on your push and your pull skills. And then weekend, you can rest or stretch, focus on mobility, things like this. And if I followed this when I first started, I would have progressed so much faster than I did. When I first started, it took me about a year just to see any progress, because I was kind of just following tutorials on YouTube, TikTok, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was kind of just taking tips off the internet and applying it into my own workouts, but these tips weren't tailored towards me, so I wasn't really seeing much progress. And that's when I actually decided to get an online one-on-one coach, and that's when I saw the most progress, because I had someone there taking me step by step, and it was personalized information. And that was the push I needed to actually start getting progress. And that's when I started to get the handstand push-up, front lever, 90-degree handstand push-up, one-arm pull-up, things like this. Progress started to pile up once I had someone there with me. And with that, I realized one-on-one coaching was for me, and that's when I saw the most progress. So now I'm also offering the same service. I also provide one-on-one coaching for people that are struggling with calisthenics. If you're interested, DM me on Instagram. But I understand you may not be able to afford a one-on-one coach, and that's totally fine. You can still use this information from this video to see some progress. So with the 3 foundations out of the way, foundation 1 being focus on control and not strength, foundation 2 being the 3 skills I'd learn first, and then the third foundation being the weekly structure I'd use if I was first starting out. So here's what not to do. Please don't copy an advanced calisthenics athlete's training split off of the internet. They have years on you. They're doing advanced skills, so their schedules, their structure is built around that skill. You do not have that strength. You aren't training for that advanced skill. I'm sure I don't need to explain why you shouldn't do that. You just don't have the strength to be doing the stuff they're doing. Another thing beginners shouldn't do is not training till failure. Calisthenics is somewhat similar to weightlifting in the sense of training till failure is the most effective way to build muscle. If you're not training till failure in calisthenics, you aren't building the most amount of strength you can be, and you're also not building the amount of muscle you can be building. And the third thing you shouldn't do is train the muscle up before you even have 10 clean pull-ups. I've seen a lot of people, especially in my gym, try train the muscle up before they even have 10 clean pull-ups. And the problem with this is you will sacrifice form to get the rep. And the problem with that is you don't have enough strength to have the correct form, and without the correct form, you can very much easily, especially with the muscle up, injure your shoulder. Because what people tend to do is when they go up for the muscle up, they get one arm over the bar, then they try to bring the other one up. The problem with this is you're putting all your weight on your shoulder on the first one that comes up. I also used to do this, and I'm surprised I didn't get injured. Now, the one thing I wish I knew if I was starting calisthenics again is mindset. Most beginners think they're not progressing. But calisthenics is slow. It's a slow burner. And here's something I'd do if I was starting again. Film your progress weekly. You will see progress between the videos. And this is something I wish I did earlier, because I'd have a lot more videos I could look back on of when I first started. With all that out of the way, that's exactly what I'd do if I was to start calisthenics again as a complete beginner, to avoid months and months of not seeing progress. If you're interested in my one-on-one coaching, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll get back to you. And if you like this video, subscribe. I upload once a week to help you guys get better with calisthenics.